Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic day because we are here hoping to make it a little bit better with the MAAC Esports Championship live to you with the semifinals presented to you by the EGFC, who have been making sure that all of this can come in, especially with the Showboat Hotel. It's absolutely amazing. But when it comes down to your casters, username_Intel and Chief Philly, we are here to give you a very intense match.
Well, I tell you what, I'm absolutely ecstatic to be here. What's up, Atlantic City? 10 o'clock here in the Midwest. First out the gate, we are going to have Quinnipiac going up against, I believe it is going to be Iona. So, looking at these two teams, I've had a chance to see them both last season and this season. I actually got to see one of the players from Iona in the EGFH National Championships last year. That'll be Oblivion's, the main tank player for Iona. What's up, my friend? Had a chance to talk with them last season and into this season as well. So, you know, there's lots of room to grow from the high school scene here into our collegiate scene, and Oblivion's is one of those players that we get a chance to see working on the big stage here. This is a semifinal action, Iona and Quinnipiac going up against it here. Later on, we'll see Marist, the #1 ranked team in all of EGF, will be going up against Siena in our second semifinal. But we got to get matters done here first, user intel, where we've got Iona versus Quinnipiac.
You're absolutely right. I'm very excited to see how this is going to be going down. And on your map right now, as your screen, you guys can see the rules that we're going to be having for tonight. So still going to be the best of 5. Very simple, but all the maps are laid out for you in front, and we're actually starting out on Ilios, which is going to be a very strong point for both. I've had the pleasure to cast Iona this season more than once, and I have yet to be surprised by them. I've always just been impressed by their continuous improvement, and, well, going up against a team who is #1 overall, I think that this is the one time I'm going to be seeing Iona no longer being the first engagers. That momentum they've been building up may look a little bit different, and especially, these players that I've got to see grow throughout the season, they've been entirely impressive, especially, we talk about them a lot, Oblivion and Calamity. They have been very big centerpieces in their team, but Mark says, what about them?
Well, I mean, you were telling me about this new player, Calamity, kind of running a little bit with the Pharaoh. They like to run Pharaoh with Calamity so often, so we'll see, if they come out blazing with the winged Egyptian attacker. But, you know what? Oblivion's played DPS and then moved to the main tank role. And I believe I also saw them in the off-tank role during the national championships last year. So, we're looking to see, how Iona is going to take this up against Quinnipiac. Marist is the #1 seed throughout all of the EGF. So, we're looking to see them in game or semifinal #2. But, we're going to head into game here very shortly. Iona, there we go. The Gales. This is the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. A lot of New Jersey and New York teams, obviously talking about the Metro Series there. So, taking a look at all the handsome Chads there from Iona. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good morning. We are so excited to be getting into this game. It's a beautiful thing to be able to see the players in front of us, user. I don't get this chance very often, COVID notwithstanding. Soon we'll be able to get to have handshakes and everything else like that once everything gets reopened all the way back up. But still, getting to see their faces on the screen, that is just an extra added bonus for me and you.
Yeah, as someone who comes with Philly, I'm on the border of Jersey. It's amazing to see that somewhere close, it's starting to kind of ease back up, and those players look absolutely amazing. I can't wait to one day be able to look at them and say, well, I've casted your match before. You may not remember me. I wasn't in the building, but still, it's going to be an absolute blast. And, well, with these players having to basically get first to 3, I think there is nothing more that's going to be intense. And I wonder how used are they? Because, obviously we spent most of the time playing behind our computers in our rooms or maybe in our dorms. And so now being in person, this has to be awakening some new feelings.
I got a lot of exposure to these teams through the Rocket League side of EGF. But, Overwatch is my first love. You know that. We all know that. And getting a chance to see these teams here on the stage, At the Showboat, Atlantic City. Are you kidding me? I mean, this has got to be a massive, massive opportunity to get that big stage experience, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they deal with the pressure and deal with the big lights on them. We'll see how they handle the pressure. I've done a couple of lands myself, so this is going to be a lot of fun to see how they act on the big stage.
You know, especially when it goes down to the idea of mentals. I mean, we're in the semifinals. There is nothing worse than just feeling that anxiety push into your body, and you're calling a target, but then you switch a different target because you can't focus correctly, and especially being in front of everybody on Ilios. It's an extremely beautiful map, but not one that you want to lose so early on in the series. It is going to be that momentum pusher, and I feel going into hybrid, it's going to mean a lot.
Oh man, I mean, control. Okay, control for me shows me what they might have up their sleeve, right? I mean, you see kind of glimpses and pictures of little snapshots of what they're thinking about running throughout the other map types, but I always throw control kind of out the back. It depends on if you're a good control team or not. I mean, there's really no middle ground. Either you're good at control or you're not good at control, and either it's a throwaway map set for you, or you get out there with the 1-0 lead. So we'll see what we can do to get this going forward. Looks like we have a little bit of a issue with a player stuck in the lobby, so we're going to see if we can get them loaded up here, get them into the game so we can get started with our first semifinal of the day. This is a EGF competition here as well, but this is the MAAC championships. I had a chance to talk to some of the teams last week when they were getting ready for it, and they were so excited during the interviews. They're like, "Yeah, we're going to Atlantic City this weekend." I'm like, "Woo! Go ahead and get some gambling done if that's allowed." I don't know if that's allowed right now. I know that if I was there, I would be doing it. But not to gamble on is getting yourself into the final. And, they have put so much work in here. I know that Iona really put a lot of work into their last season. They had kind of an up and down season, kind of middle of the road. They were really looking to get their synergy together. And that's something that you and I were talking about off stream, is how much you really like the fact that Iona was really getting good at that, but that Calamity and company, I mean, if that's the case, if we're seeing a dominant DPS player emerge out of this MAAC conference, then man, this is going to be all to play for. We're finally getting in. We're going to be on Lighthouse. Oh my gosh, semifinal number 1. Beautiful Ilios Greece here. I have been to this part of the world personally. They absolutely nailed the physicals here, or the visuals here. Oblivions, you don't disappoint me, son. Let's go! Semifinal number 1.
Already, we're going to see some teasers coming from Quinnipiac and Iona of what exactly they really want to be looking on it. And I'm quite curious. These are two entirely different competitions, and yet I've seen Iona run this continuously.
Well, I mean, you're looking for disruption. You're looking for mobility coming out from Quinnipiac right now. Kind of a greedy backline, kind of a slow backline as well. So I'm hoping that Just a Tad is going to be able to get back and get that kiting ability for their backline. I mean, Scooty is going to have to really keep an eye and keep Broccoli up through these team fights.
We already see as they fly overhead, finding out where this poor Brigitte is, they aren't going to be able to live. Calamity relatively high in the sky, so it takes the D.Va their entire utility to try and stop it. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough, as the backline of Quinnipiac are being focused down on. As this point opens up, Iona are going to start getting control of Quinnipiac. They aren't going to be leading these fights.
Yep, I mean, that's an early take there from them, and you're looking at this long stagger here onto the Baby D.Va. Just a Tad just needs to jump off the map and get their mech back. I mean, they're close enough now where it doesn't really matter, but this is a lot of time wasted, and Just a Tad is going to get that mech back. But look at Calamity, 87% almost to their first barrage. They're going to want to get Just a Tad out of mech again before they let loose with it.
Yep, the fight is going to be on the point. However, Calamity is having to face pressure from Mayonnaise on top of the high ground, but Krev is freely able to keep the team alive with Milky Way falling off of the map. It's not going to be feeling good that Calamity knows how to pull a Fleta, turning around, surviving from the D.Va, and then going after the backline, who just really want to play the game. The unfortunate Souls are just barely going to live, but they still don't have the ultimates to kind of bring this back for.
They really don't. I mean, especially with Krev having Amp Matrix ready and willing to go whenever they need it. They can amp the healing through it just as much as they can amp the damage going through it. So, right now, if I'm Quinnipiac, I'm looking for a little bit of extra speed. I'm not sure if the Zenyatta is the right choice for them here because you're seeing Iona just focus down the main tank every time they come in. Big stun coming up.
Ooh, that was a good flash, stopping Milky from getting too much value. But now Quinnipiac, they're building ult simultaneously. They find out Synergy, pop the visor. They really just want to take out anybody that they can. But the window's not really allowing them to peek for too long. It's lucky that Grubs goes to the backline, manages to find out not only Calamity, but Krev. And then the rest of the team dive in, able to burst down that main tank. Iona, they may have the percentage advantage, but you fly into the mines, and now at least you get a quicker reset. And, well, you managed to stall this point up to above 90%, the best opportunity you could have, and yet Iona still want to fight it at Sam X. It's going to be massively staggered.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have pressed Q if that was me. That might be a little bit of first game nerves here, pressing the Q button a little injudiciously, but they did get to 97%. So this is going to be one fight territory for Iona. They take the point, and they're pretty much guaranteed taking Lighthouse.
Calamity, it has to be extremely careful. Both of the DPS are set up. I mean, if you look at the top right where you can see their health, Calamity is consistently dipping. But look at this. The Brawl is now going to be moving forward, putting pressure onto that D.Va. They have to play around the Lighthouse, though that D.Va bomb goes in. The High Noon finds out too, while the Ryan manages to shield it out. That is a massive advantage. So we see Calamity start going into the backline. Has the barrage, but is immediately going to pop it against the Zenyatta, not give them a chance to use that Transcendence. And as Quinnipiac got the point, they immediately lose it, not even going to have a chance to get back on. As we see the direct, this was the hype I wanted to bring. Calamity, the Pharah player, the hard carry at times for Iona when it does come down to plays, but they are synergized as a unit.
I mean, Yazin Jr., hello. Yazin being a player from the contender scene, very well known Forest specialist, and Calamity, especially with that last direct, the predictive nature, because if you know about shooting Pharah's rockets, there's a little bit of a delay to them. So being able to time that, knowing that the soldier is going to be coming out of the mini room there and just clapping with a direct there, that's exactly what you want to see. So 1-0 here in the mini map set as we head to, well, oh man, Iona is looking to absolutely smack here. Majin giving the tether to Calamity. Calamity only went down once in that entire fight, so we're looking for maybe a little bit more to focus down this Pharah in the sky.
I mean, the Echo very much is sometimes seen as a far counter in themselves. However, Mayonnaise is having a lot of issues. Look at that hook! It manages to find out Krev, but they just punish Milky for even trying to attempt to steal their player. And Synergy able to start body blocking, going after Grub. Not an immediate notice, but not in a better position themselves. Still able to get that fan. The hammer survive. Milky is going to get res, helping to bring this back in the fight. But Iona, they get the win, and they get the charge off. So, you know, a little bit of morality boost there.
I mean, that's BM if I've ever seen it. And yeah, I mean, they got a little bit overzealous in their push, and Oblivion's taking 2 charges, one for a kill and one for a dip into the warm waters of the Aegean Sea off the side here. But now Manny is getting a little bit of good sidelines and angles approaching in here. Calamity definitely has to be the look that they're going for.
Yeah, Calamity's just playing by the Lighthouse and natural cover. It's taking more out of Grubs to actually look, and look at that example. Beautiful moment of just flashing before the Hog can get that pick onto Synergy. So it's going to be taking more out of Quinnipiac. They lose Mayonnaise, so, and the Mercy, that's going to be even worse. Calamity now uncontested in the air. That Cassidy can't do everything by their own, especially with the High Noon, the charge. The board, so not the solo barrage!
Wow, that was impressive coming out from Iona. Yeah, Calamity just said, yeah, you're not going to get any value out of this nano boost. So that's 2 ultimates that have been taken off the level for Quinnipiac, and Iona is just absolutely cruising here in Ilios.
We see as now this is going back into this slow phase where Quinnipiac, they want to find setup. They're going over to the cage area. Unfortunately, Mayonnaise is going to fall, and that's not going to be the best thing that they need because, well, Grub's going to use that high noon, low on health, trying to solo out the Pharah Mercy, but they're in a position to where they have that natural cover, and even before they could take the Diva's mech, they immediately get taken out, and that's not going to be the best thing that they have as we see them slowly staggering out, but Calamity using the barrage, forcing out the stagger. It's not going to be looking good. They have 94%, and I don't know if they have a touch.
They don't have a touch. I mean, unless there's somebody on the side that we don't see, that should be GG's. That'll be Ilios taking map 1 in a very emphatic fashion. Lighthouse was competitive, where Well was just a rout by Iona. Even though we do see Grub getting some good work here on the Tracer, landing the stick here, really got some good work going into that. So, we see them, they have the keys here and the tools to be able to take care of some of these players. But yeah, I'm worried about them being able to counter out this Pharah because they haven't been able to do it yet. And, running a Diva, especially when there's a Pharah in the sky, you need to run Diva with somebody else that's either trained on that Pharah, or you need to throw an Echo up there. An Echo plus Diva will absolutely make the life of a pharmacy hell. So we'll see, if they can change it up here. This is loser pick, so it'll be Quinnipiac's map choice here as we go to hybrid. I'm wondering where we're going to go, what they feel like they can do to kind of reset the odds here in their favor. This is the semifinals of the MAAC championships, and it's all to play for. It's the first to 3, so they're already down 0-1. They need to get their act together here very quickly.
I mean, Quinnipiac, they still looked very impressive. They're running out on different compositions, and they're experimenting. Map 1 sometimes can just be that warm-up game, and that's definitely what I'm seeing, especially because I love to see that Wrecking Ball composition be an idea left in the back of the team. That means they're focusing on comms. That means they're looking to play those high-tier compositions. And when it comes down to hybrid, you have a lot of opportunities for it.
Yeah, we do have a substitution coming in here. Scooty's going out, and Cookie is coming in the support role, so she is taking her seat with the 6 there, and is going to be able to provide maybe a little bit better protection, a little bit better healing and resources there for the members of Quinnipiac. But Iona just running on all cylinders right now, and I mean, for Quinnipiac, they've got to bring themselves back up in here. I mean, they're not too far below. I'm actually, if I'm looking at the standings right now in the EGF as it is, Quinnipiac is on 7-5. Iona is 7-6. So actually, Iona might be considered the underdog here, but they have come out really on fire. And we'll see how this goes for them as we head into our next map. We're going to get that coming in here very shortly.
Yeah, and especially when we get to 3 hybrids. We have Eichenwald, King's Road, Numbani, and those are very versatile maps. Obviously, we can already say, like, oh, they're going to go with King's Road, stereotypical, but I don't feel that may be what Quinnipiac really wants to run, and that's solely going off of the compositions they ran on first map.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to come down to a support diff here, because Cookie has had a fantastic time of it, so... Yeah, I mean, we're going to take a look at a couple of these replays here from Iona. I mean, just fantastic work. There's that direct that we were talking about, Sap. Thank you so much for the beautiful pictures that you've been showing us, and Capitano as well on the observing. Look at this direct, though. You were talking about how good Calamity is. Well, yeah, Calamity is very good at the game and very good at pressing Q.
If there's anything that I think players should fear more than just the opponent, it's always going to be those observers. They catch some of the nastiest clips right there, and yeah, that's Calamity's bread and butter. And I think what makes them so good is Iona completely have faith in Calamity to do a job as a Pharah, and so Oblivion and the rest of the team, they just shine. They may not be in the kill feed, but they're staying alive. A Pharah can only do so much. I think we both know that, especially at this level. So it's props onto the team. I think it's going to take a second for Quinnipiac to figure out really what they want to do. Now, let's say they're working on the Wrecking Ball composition or maybe the Hog sort of idea. They're going up against the Pharah. What is the main objective against to play that? Because I feel that there are so many ideas that go into it, it can be overwhelming.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of ways that you can take care of a pharmacy in the sky. One, the Diva, but you got to have somebody that's skilled enough to take that pharmacy out of the sky, and you got to you got to go for the mercy first, because without the tether, Pharah doesn't last very long. So there's a couple ways you can do that. I obviously hit scan heroes work very well, getting the diva up there as well. Also, you can run a Sombra. This is something that's not utilized enough, especially in the elo that's going on here. You can run a Sombra, take the wings out from underneath Pharah, and just keep her grounded. So that's something that I like to see. Is you can run it, especially in this high masters, low GM range that we have a lot of these players in. You have more flexibility. You're not so meta strict that you have to stay with the standard rush or the standard brawl comps that you see, or the metal dive, as I call it, with the wrecking ball. So there's a lot of ways that they can really path this and attack the situation. So if I'm looking at what I'm seeing from Quinnipiac, pharmacy has to be first order of business to take them out.
Yeah, I love the fact that you even mentioned up that Sombra. Though I have my personal gripes against that type of character. That's only due to my own comp experiences. I love the Sombra idea. Sombra's able to get away with so much in these matches, especially, I mean, if you're able to get a hack onto Calamity, that's one far out of the sky. The Mercy, you're just ruining their game plan, and the EMP is by far one of the best engagement abilities, in my opinion. So, you get the moment to kind of see how you want to look at it. Double hit scan, if it's not working, then you've got to come up with some creative different ideas that you can run, especially if you have that diva and they're not able to be in a position to go after the opponents. That's where it's not going to be feeling too great. So maybe the Sombra is a good idea and utility, or maybe you just have a Sigma get ready to throw that shield to their face, and then Calamity ends up dying to their own mechanisms.
Yep, I mean, look at the handsome Chads there from Quinnipiac. They're all ready to go. They're all ready to fight and see what they can do to turn this back around, get us level here in our semifinals. Moment of silence, focusing, zen, if you will. Taking a look there at Quinnipiac. They're feeling it right now. They're trying to get in the right headspace. We can see you. Hi. Hope you're having a good day so far. Hopefully you guys can turn this around here, because Iona did come out very strong there on the control map, and maybe Quinnipiac isn't a control team. Maybe they like the other map types altogether. I mentioned this in our beginning. Not all teams are a control map team, and maybe they're looking for hybrid, escort, and assault to make their stand. So we will see what we shall see here, and figure out if Quinnipiac is the latter or if they are the former and just kind of got outplayed on the first map of the day.
Yeah, I mean, these players having to get up early and then get in front of a stage. I wonder if they even had breakfast, because, already map one and these players look stressed. And I mean, I would too. Solely just because of this environment, the lights everywhere. You got your beautiful collegiate jerseys on, which I absolutely would buy if I had the chance to.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to too. There we see Cookie, the newly subbed in support player for Iona, giving us the thumbs. And yeah, hello. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well this morning. Quinnipiac, how you doing? And yeah, I think that they really just need to get a little bit more confidence going into this. I think they need a little bit extra G Fuel. Somebody get them a G Fuel stat. And hopefully they will be able to deal with this. We are dealing with some lobby issues, as you see on the screen right now. So, this is what happens at a live event. Sometimes things just happen, and we will go ahead and working this out.
Mm-hmm. They are going to take that second, especially. But I'm more interested. If you had a moment to kind of see which map we were going to, which one would you really want to see? Because we have an idea of what they both front, especially Iona. But I really want to focus on Quinnipiac. What looks like a map that's stronger for them out of Eichenwald, King's Row, and Numbani?
I mean, for Quinnipiac, something that doesn't play into a Pharah. Numbani has too many good sightlines. Eichenwald has too many places that a Pharah can hide out in. So I think that the smart choice is for him to go to King's Row, honestly. Yeah, there's some spots where a Pharah can work. But point A, the sightlines aren't that good. Point B, you have a lot of room around the rooftops. That's about the only place that Pharah really works that well. As far as a pharmacy comp. So if I'm Quinnipiac, I would definitely be choosing King's Row there.
You know, 100%. I mean, Kings Row in itself is just a really good map. It's everybody's favorite. I honestly, I don't see anything against it. However, at least for me, in the way that I see these teams, I feel Numbani, if you want to run that Wrecking Ball, it's definitely a good strategy. Kings Row works well when it comes down to the Sigma and Hong type variant. And I can, and you know, you get those opportunities to especially run the far, which is what Iona very much are focused on. So while we get these technical issues underway, we're going to be going over to a quick break. Don't go anywhere because the match just got started, and when we come back, it will only continue to impress us. Welcome back, everybody. It's not going to be anything too surprising, but we are just here to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what's going to be going on because the players are getting back in. They're still getting warmed up, and well, we're going to be able to show you what's going on, at least when it comes down to the matches. And I got to say, when it comes, at least for this match, it's already getting so excited, but I mean, after this, it's Sienna versus Marcis, and that scares me to see that matchup go.
Right. So we'll see what happens. It's not a LAN if there's not if something doesn't break. I mean, this is just the rule of the world. We'd all just have to accept that. We are going to hybrid next, like I mentioned before, and you know, we'll see what map we're actually going to go into. I think we're going to. Well, you were right. Looks like they are wanting to maybe take a look at these Wrecking Ball comps here in Numbani. Quinnipiac here, choosing the map. And Iona's going to be coming out on the attack. So, oh man. Hit scan, pharmacy is going to have to be the focus for Iona. I know that we're kind of harping on that, but it is that imperative for Quinnipiac to take care of the aerial duo of Calamity and Majin. That's got to be, you know, their first order of business. So, Quinnipiac, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do here. You've got one hit scan, you've got another sniper-ish. So we'll see if Mayonnaise can smother the competition and spread the arrows across evenly. So, yeah, 15 seconds here. Iona, nothing surprising here. We will see what they get here going on to point A.
I mean, I'm really excited solely just to see how Iona are going to engage and react against the dive. Obviously, that's going to allow for very quick gameplay, a lot of rushing down, and Calamity already beating out Grubs is somewhat able to take that duel relatively unscathed, but now their entire composition is known as we see Calamity on the opposite side able to fight that Hanzo, boops the monkey off the high ground, but the fight's taking place lower down. Calamity has to deal with those onto the high ground, but they're doing some considerable damage, making them play behind the wall. But look at that, Calamity goes in and is going to be taken out, but given time for Oblivion to go on top of the high ground. They were not prepared against it. You see if Cookie's going to be following after. Now with this fight being on to the point, Quinnipiac, they're being able to, well, not being able, they are entirely split, or Iona are as well. They do have Krev alive, but eventually Grubs is going to find it out. However, look who is back. Calamity looking to fly down with the help of the Reinhardt. You're able to get to sleep. However, a point-blank shot is not going to be in your favor, and that is how Iona used teamwork to win the point.
I mean, better work for them, though. I have to admit, they had better work coming out there and dealing with the pharmacy. Oblivions is under a lot of duress here. Gonna have to get that Diva off the point. Nice contester, just wasting more time. They're kind of circling these in. Nice Dragon Strike coming over the top. What a shot, though!
It was just open, and well, Oblivion would be crazy to not even attempt to go for it, helping them secure the fight a lot quicker, and they're even going after these poor supports who weren't able to die fast enough. Now Iona, they also just have so many ultimates prepared, while Quinnipiac, they're going to be having a relatively strong amount of ultimates rather than a plentiful.
You can hear Oblivions taunting them to come out and say hi. Milky Way, they do have Primal online. They've got the Nano online as well. I think you Nano the Bob here. Not a very normal play, but I think that if you Nano the Bob, you're going to pull so many resources out of Iona that you might be able to make a great stand here during the Streets phase of Numbani.
You also just can't melt down a Nano Bob easily. That's going to take absolutely everything out of them. Maybe even Calamity's Barrage. They're having to play on the high ground, but they throw that. Don't tell me they threw the Nano on the monkey and then the monkey immediately gets melted down. That is not what's meant to happen, as that bomb is going to be going to the side, forcing them to split. They're having issues contesting on this point, and they lose their Ana. That's not looking good, as they all rush down to the point. The Diva throws in. It seems Mayonnaise is able to find out Calamity, but the High Noon trades in with finding Grubs. The Bob eventually taking out Iona. They're finding a good momentum to push through the point, but at least Milky's able to take out Synergy on their way out.
Yeah, but it's still, oh my god. The barrage, are you kidding me? Wow, 5 minutes on the clock here, user, and they're just got a full head of steam going into this point. They still have Oblivion Shatter to go and try and knock everybody down. 3 ultimates ready for Quinnipiac, so, you know, you're expecting at least one fight here to go in favor of Quinnipiac.
They are going to be having the ultimates to start playing the way they want to, especially with Mayonnaise's Dragon. I mean, just notice how Iona, the moment the Valk comes out, they disengage. They don't even want to try it, so Quinnipiac says, fine, we'll come to you, gets a little bit of poke. However, they recognize that they don't want to take that fight so close up. This is going to be a little easier, but the Shatter goes through! Manages to catch out Iona with the Dragons, but the Immortality will keep them up. They've lost their tank, and so as the push forward happens, Quinnipiac aren't going to be feeling too good, but their opponents stay on the point. They aren't hard committing on top to try to stagger them out. Now, the Bob will go in, and Iona have to switch their attentions as they have a Valkyrie Mercy that anti-lands on Oblivion the 1 second that they pop out with their shield. And now Quinnipiac with the nano, basically they're going to be feeling fine. Our Synergy able to use that Inoon, find out Cookie. It's not enough, however. We're going to be seeing that reset. The snowball will not continue.
Oh man, what an anti and shatter coming out from Quinnipiac though. They put 3 ultimates into the previous fight. They didn't get much value of it. But now in the neutral, Grub coming alive with the Ash. The Dynamite getting so much value. And you love to see it. Just use Bob in the previous fight. Already halfway to another one. This might be the angle that they need to stop Iona's steamroll through Numbani. Samex, though, has a self-destruct ready to go. This might be their point of ingress. Let's see how they use it.
I mean, they're just looking to go in. They pop the Shatter, but they've lost 2! It's luckily Grubs is able to fall to the bomb, but look at this. Quinnipiac still have the Valk. The Blizzard's gonna go through. This is not gonna be enough sustain for everybody. They've got to switch their targets, and yet Cookie's able to keep everybody up like a menace they are. With the nano, Quinnipiac to start pushing forward. Iona gets that point 95 meters away. So close, and yet so far as they're going to have to take another fight to try and secure it.
I mean, we do see Calamity going off that Farah and bringing out the May. 0.94 meters was the distance between them capturing the 3rd point here in Numbani and going back to the defensive stage. So, sound barrier not very close. Bob available again, user, and maybe Krev uses this Ant Matrix to just build the quarter and get them another foothold and try and capture this out.
They do throw the Bob extremely early. Iona are able to pretty much take that rotation into the small cubby and ignore it. Milky has to Shatter, though, and they've got to respect it. They're already so low, but they managed to take out Mayonnaise. Oblivion has to back out. Gets the anti. They don't have a mech anymore. This isn't going to be feeling too great. They're not fully stacked together. However, that window does make a difference. Milky Way can't do too much against it besides land a Shatter. Tad uses a bomb, and they don't have anything to stop it. So once more, even with that high noon, wait, no, they managed to find out too, and there's only an Ana left onto the point. That's not going to be feeling good in the replays.
No, it's not. I mean, both them here. Sound barrier invested? Are you kidding me? Nano Junkrat? What am I looking at here? This is absolutely psychotic coming out from Quinnipiac. They're not willing to give up this 3rd point.
And there's no reason you should. You have the respawns, but the Blizzard, it helps take out the tanks, and they're able to start walking on the front/back line. These board supports need to be touching because Grubs isn't able to build up that bomb fast enough at 1%. One more shot, and you could have held, but now Iona, they're able to capture this point at 54 seconds.
Let's talk about the time bank, though, that came into this point, user. They had 5 minutes on the clock, and it gets whittled down to 54 seconds. So a 4-minute hold coming out from Quinnipiac. Yes, you give up the 3rd point, but boy, it could have been so much worse. And now they've got to be feeling a little bit of exultation there. You know, they made their stand. Even losing a fight with 3 ultimates, user, they still held their ground. They still managed to keep them out until 54 seconds. So this is very manageable now. What it appeared to be just an almost inconquerable situation has now turned into, oh, we can absolutely match this time, or we can do better than the time of 54 seconds. And they dealt with Calamity. They forced Calamity off the Farah. That is point number one that, you know, they have absolutely turned around. Grub on the Ashe was so good in dealing with the aerial threat user. Is that, I mean, I'm impressed. I'm pleased to see this. Now we need to see, how does Quinnipiac come out with the attack and really gets onto the point and gets into that pharmacy, because right now they don't have jack. Well, I mean, they've got the Echo and the Diva, but we'll see how that works out. I do like the tether, though, that Cookie is going to provide.
They just are going to be able to walk on anybody they want, but they still have to respect not only Calamity, but the fact that Sam X is on the Diva, so they're going to be having a lot of sustain. We see them just taking their positions. Oh, wow, what is that charge? They just go through and find out Broccoli? And now the Rider is able to just walk in. It doesn't really have a support, but look at that. The Diva comes in. They get the immortality. That's Peel. And now Quinnipiac, they don't know what to do because they were just outpaced there.
They were outpaced. They were outmaneuvered. They just didn't know where to go. You can't keep pushing in with this nano on you. Limits! You should know better than that. Shame. I mean, we're going to call it that they're building ult charge for the supports. That's what we're going to go with, you, sir.
Oh, I mean, they haven't even had a second to set up or build ultimates. Everybody on the side of Quinnipiac are at least up to 50% at best. But Iona, they're coming up on the Shatter. They find out Grubs. They may be on the opposite angle, but this Monkey is looking to take the engagement. You see them take a jump. Majin is going to fall. Unfortunately, gets caught out by the Ana, and look at that Slate. Gonna be landing onto Calamity, so Oblivion not in the best position, has to try and disengage, but just uses the Shatter. Solos out on the mech, but they get the nano, so that's gonna build so much sustain. With Oblivion gone, this isn't looking good anymore for Iona. See Quinnipiac moving forward, but the barrage taking out the mech, allowing Synergy to use that high noon for a little longer, but you get punished. You get taken out by the 2K bomb, and they continue to walk, even if that res lands. It's not looking too good as a way to bring this back, as Quinnipiac have too many people on this point. And as we see, they're finding the focus fire, they are getting the kills, and they are going to get this point.
They are going to get the point, and they're going to do it with some pretty good time, too. So they're going to have some ultimates going through the streets phase here. They're going to have, actually, 2 online. So the Primal is going to be able to disrupt Iona and what they're trying to do. The only question I see right now is how Krev is going to deal with the pressure coming in. You know, looking at a primaling Monkey, that's got to be, you know, promise number 1 or problem number 1. Mane is going to echo Calamity's Pharah. I don't hate this at all. Sneaky Grub looking for the stick in the back.
And Grubs is looking for this at least 2K bomb. More than anything, it's just going to be trying to take at least one person out. That's the big value it's going to bring. But Calamity says, don't you try and play the hero I'm known for right now. Going to be able to take out that fight. And, well, Quinnipiac aren't really able to push anymore. Losing out their Ana was a very big problem. And while Milky Way isn't able to escape, everyone else is still alive. They just need to get back into the spawn and take their time.
Yeah, I think that they were looking for the nano engage with that primal, and they just weren't able to get it. This aerial dogfight between Mayonnaise and Calamity is the stuff that dreams are made of. They're having so much fun trying to land directs on each other. Oh my gosh! Oh! Hello, Oblivion!
I thought that was going to take out Milky Way, but Cookie's the one who gets taken. I mean, Calamity does over-invest without the rest of their team. But with that nano onto the Pharah, it's strictly going to be countered out by the high noon. They have to engage off the Valkyrie, but we see the Shatter go through, managing to land onto the Monkey, and they just hammer through, taking out Broccoli, and everyone else is slowly going to be picked off. It's not looking too good as Quinnipiac. They had to invest their ultimates, and they find Oblivion, but Calamity's going to be returning, and they don't have anybody to help push forward.
I mean, we're looking at 2:35 on the clock here. Synergy is just absolutely wrecking with this Cassidy. Oh my god. You know, we've been talking about Calamity all day, but let's talk about Synergy on this on this Cassidy. Has been absolutely lethal with that hero. The Deadeyes aside, just the directs that have been coming from this Cassidy have been nothing short of spectacular.
The bomb is going to be thrown, looking to make that play. It finds out Majin just barely wasn't behind the pillar, so they've lost their mercy. With the anti landing through, the ultimates have to go through to try and stop this out. It seems Just a Tad is going to go with a barrage inside. The immortality is able to get value as the shatter lands on Just a Tad, helping to break the mech. But look at this, Milky is angry, gets the nano, starts pushing, but gets charged by an anti to Oblivion. So not the smartest decision, but in the end, it's still going to work out. So, look at this. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to be looking up into this fight. I mean, Billy, especially from the fact that the ultimates on Iona have been rotating.
Yeah, my mic just went mute by itself there for a second. So, yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, we've got our own little problems going on here. I mean, you know, looking at the charge that went through there, I don't hate it because it takes Milky Way out of the situation, lets him get the kills behind it. So, you know, he was looking for danger anyways. Looking for a flash fan here. There it is. Nice shielding from Milky Way, though.
Not going to be landing entirely quick, but it does do damage. Look at that high noon looking to push forward, helps to break that mech, and it's not looking good for Iona. They pop out the blizzard from Quinnipiac, and this just gives them so much room to walk forward that Iona slowly are going to fall. They do try. No, they will take Milky Way out with them. But there isn't really a chance for a contest. That's why you see them use the Valk and the Reds, trying to get as much of a time bank out of Quinnipiac as possible, maybe even bring this back. However, they aren't looking too good as MAAC will be falling, the Mercy gliding around, but now they're putting pressure onto you. So it's going to be the end of that fight, even if the High Noon manages to find a lot. Look at that. They are just walking into it. Wait, no, it manages to find out Grubs, but the point still gets captured, so a lot invested. Not much gained out of it besides ult economy.
Correct. And I mean, looking at Quinnipiac coming into this last point, they're about 40 seconds ahead of what Iona's finishing time was. They've got the nano, they've got the shatter. Nano Deadeye might not be a bad way to go here, or you throw the nano on the Milky Way, let him get the shatter out and just start swinging. They've got to watch out for Calamity. Calamity does have this barrage online. Oh no, Calamity's super low.
Oh, but you have to put all your resources going through, and they still block the shatter. Is that a zoning barrage I see, managing to stop them from pushing forward? And as Oblivion look to use that shatter, gets booped out and gets charged, but the res is there. So that mistake is going to be basically cleaned up as Calamity walks into the backline, able to take out both of the supports. Does fall, but did absolute work while alive.
I mean, a 3K there without the barrage is pretty good work. So that gives them time to reset up. 38 seconds left on the clock there. We're taking a look over at Iona. Iona feeling very, very comfortable right now. They are looking to clean out this last part of the map. Blizzard and Deadeye ready to go, user. This is going to be very, very Q-pressy here.
Quinnipiac do have the ultimates, though, to fight this, and they're determined. They land the anti on Oblivion when the High Noon's on the high ground. While it isn't able to take out Calamity, it does force pressure and the mech very early. However, look at that. Calamity's going to be taken out by Grub. Same with Krev by Mayonnaise. So as we see them push forward, the trade onto Milky Way is going to be giving Iona a bit more room. But look at this. Just a Tad gets nanoed, able to take out Oblivion with the remake, and now they start hitting W. Krev's going to fall. They get the res on to Milky, and now Iona have to be saying to themselves, who is going to touch? It's got to be that Cassidy, but they only really managed to find out Cookie. While that barrage comes out, you instantly get punished. The focus fire was there, and in overtime, Quinnipiac are going to keep their chances alive.
I mean, that's a great fight. I mean, yeah, they kind of got stalled out during the streets phase, user, but they marshaled their resources, and they were able to push through. So, looking at time banks right now, Quinnipiac, they got a minute, so not a lot of time to build up ultimate. So you've got to go out there and punch them in the face. You've got to go out there and get maximum value and maximum damage going through this. Another look here at what Calamity was getting done, but you know, what I'm looking at right now is Iona. I don't think they were expecting that level of aggression coming out, especially on point number 3. And the rotation of ultimates from Quinnipiac was absolutely chef's kiss. It was perfect. It was measured. They weathered the storm of all of Iona's ultimates and then threw their own in there. So, I mean, you're looking at 54-second discrepancy between the two teams. A minute to get as much done as you can if you're Quinnipiac. Otherwise, you're looking at match point not in your favor.
I don't think Broccoli is getting enough credit here as well. I mean, those antis, they were high impact, solely stopping Oblivion from walking in, and that's the only time you ever see Calamity walk in is when the opponents are distracted by the tank. So Broccoli absolutely helped stop any form of aggression. Now when it comes out onto the attack, they decide to go onto your very traditional brawl, but with the Iona rather than the Baptiste. They're finding a lot more value on it, and I truly respect that. Their main goal is to go on to this high ground so that they can put some pressure against the far without too much of a worry, but they're walking into a danger zone. I mean, just look as Milky already goes down low, now is in this big brawl, but gets charged that wall, able to block it out for a little bit longer, and we see Milky try to take that D.Va off the high ground, but it's not really going to be working out too favorable as they slowly fall, but Calamity ends up taking out their own life in a reasonable position, so Iona still have full control of what's happening.
Yep, and I mean, Shatter almost ready for Oblivions. All they gotta do is press Q once and it's done. They switched over to a composition solely to be able to touch this point. That's a good boot, but it is extremely early. The look at that! Quinnipiac are going to be looking to get back on the point. They managed to find out Calamity, but leave themselves open to the Shatter. That Mercy gets soloed out, a little bit personal if you ask me, as the fight goes on to the point, and Iona aren't be paying too much attention to who's sitting there alive. As the tanks went out to go after the backline, they eventually get hit with the anti, and Milky is freely able to walk into them, while Broccoli on the high ground is able to give out that support and make sure that they are going to get a tick on this point. There's not much you can do, even if you have that Tracer going to melt. Just look at how they're peeling in for Broccoli. This is a contested point right now. Oh no, the stupid Deadeye! Yes,
wait, they missed that. But you gotta put respect onto Grub's name, able to find the 2K! That tick is nearly there, you just have to get off for a millisecond. Milky really doesn't want to have to use these mines, we see them saving it, and as they secure that tick, Iona have no more of a reason to contest that point. But however, they still run in, they throw in the bomb. I guess every fight's winnable to them. That remake is not going to be possible, and eventually, Iona, they lose out their Lucio. They don't really have too much now. As it goes out into the streets phase, Quinnipiac are building up their ultimates. Iona are not.
Yeah, Quinnipiac's going to get the streets phase here. I mean, unless Calamity can do something fantastic here. They don't have the ultimates. They don't have the pressure. They don't have the rotation in their favor. I mean, look at Iona and Oblivions now. Oblivions going back to the Reinhardt. So free set of mines here. You're going to have the tack visor as well and the self-destruct. Quinnipiac have all the tools here to be able to get through this.
We see them being able to move. They don't know Grubs is there! Fan the herring onto Sam. They needed those boosters because the mines and bomb is... Oh, that's not looking too good. You do find Calamity and Majin, who just weren't in the right position. Quinnipiac, they're gaining so much momentum right now. Just notice at the point, it's going to continue to move.
I told you. They had the ultimates ready to go. They had, and they have measured them perfectly. Yeah, the self-destruct didn't get as much as you wanted, but it forced them back. And what they walked back into was those mines. So, you know, you got the value, you got the zoning that you needed. Grub taking a direct there from Calamity once again. Synergy is going to have Deadeye ready to go, but Mayonnaise has this tack visor. This is where it's going to come down to right now. If they can take down Calamity and Oblivions, this is done.
We see Sam is looking to put pressure onto the high ground, but with that sound bear, they have so much. They nano visor and they're walking through, ignoring the window, managing to find out Majin. And well, the high noon also puts pressure onto their shields. You may be able to go to the back line, but that was a 360 sleep dart from Broccoli. They just continue going back into the fight. Oblivion is looking to make the difference by finding out the 2K fire strike, but there isn't a team to help.
This could be all 6 points here for Quinnipiac. What a turnaround from this team. Never say die. They had 54 seconds left. They had a minute and a dream, and they are getting full maximum value. What a sleep again!
Calamity gets punished, looking for that barrage. Mind's place, they can't walk in. It's actually going to be Quinnipiac as the engagers, but that shatter does work. Brings back the pace that they've been needing and helps take out Grub. So as we see more of a split type of fight, it's no longer going to be in favor of Quinnipiac. The spawn advantage, the ults, the Reinhardt was just too strong, and while Milky Way is able to spin to win, they managed to get this long of a fight, this long of a point capture in 1 minute. Quinnipiac, you've done amazing so far. Don't let it end here.
Can I get a defibrillator, please? My heart is just about to leap out of my chest. Atlantic City, I hope that you guys are absolutely loving what you are seeing here. Quinnipiac on the main stage, not willing to go down. The ultimates, the usage of the Q button was absolutely perfect. They are getting full value every time they go for an ultimate. The sleep. You talked about Broccoli at the beginning of the overtime. The sleep on the Deadeye was absolutely magical. I mean, eat your vegetables, ladies and gentlemen, because Broccoli is here to serve it up.
You just Quinnipiac for staying so determined during that first phase, first point was absolutely essential. I mean, Iona looked like they were going to be able to get the hold there. However, they still run in and they invested a lot. Let's not understate how much Iona wanted to try and win on first point. And that messed with their ult economy to where they had nothing for second. So when it comes down to here, 1:54, we saw what Quinnipiac could do in less. How are we feeling about Iona? They're running out on the same composition, and I think Quinnipiac have finally figured out what works against them.
Well, I'm going to throw this out there, and I know that Broccoli's doing a fantastic job on the Iona. Let me start out with that. But I think that running the Lucio and the Baptiste here and going for the Ice Cold comp, having that immortality barrier would probably stand them instead a little bit better, a little bit extra speed for the Cassidy and the May. I mean, but we'll see how they do, because Oblivion's has got to be ticked off right now.
Oh, Oblivion is taken to the namesake. Though Calamities is in a free angle, basically able to get some good pot shots in, only being contested by the Diva. Eventually, they're going to be going into close, left their Mercy out, and they have to die. You know, they just have to reset, but they try to escape, and that's not feeling good. Because Sam X is now on that list of people who just aren't going to be coming back as quickly.
Yeah, I mean, this is fantastic work for them. Iona is really facing up against a barrier here. And now, you know, we're into the same time that Quinnipiac had. Sub 60 seconds, my friend. And Iona, they're coming up on some ultimates here, but Broccoli already has Nano. You have to think that they're going to throw it onto either the Cassidy for the Deadeye or onto Milky Way to get him that rest of the way to the Shatter.
We see they have the Nano High Noon set. This is Calamity's worst fear. Not only a High Noon, but one that can be basically sustained through. They do take the rotation. We see the High Noon go out, able to take out Majin. Now the Mercy, the Pharah has no pocket. And, well, Iona really don't have too much room to walk in. Grub just doing absolute work when it comes down to the Cassidy.
3 ultimates ready for Iona. 10 seconds, Shatter comes out.
Oh, the Shatter, the barrage! I mean, it's going to work. Quinnipiac weren't ready for it. They even invest a Shatter of their own. While this point is going to be moving forward, Iona, they cannot lose a fight.
Well, you saw 3 ultimates come out from Iona, so once again, that ultimate economy, they all got a little scared. And thinking that they might not be able to take that point. Broccoli holds on to Nano. This is going to be something that we need to be watching for, because Broccoli, one application of this Nano can turn a fight in their favor. Put it onto Milky Way. Let them have fun. Or throw it on to just a tad, build up that self-destruct, and knock everybody off the point.
Calamity also switches over to the May. Is going to be looking to try to do what Mayonnaise has been doing this entire game with these beautiful walls. They're going to need to be incredibly careful as we see the Blizzard get canceled, but the bomb and manages to do its job, taking out Majin. Then they go into the backline, taking out Krebs. Synergy isn't going to be able to live. Iona, they just get melted down. Quinnipiac, put some love on their name as they're going to manage to tie up this series 1-1.
Quinnipiac have brought it back even. This is now a very complicated 1-2. Oh my God, game on, get it on, Atlantic City, because Quinnipiac ain't going nowhere. They are back in this game better than you like, quicker than you can say meow. That is what you love to see. Yes, Calamity's still doing fair things, but it doesn't matter because look at that. You can see the joy back in their faces. They got that hopium hit that they needed, and now it's game on. We're all tied, baby. This is what you're looking for when you get into a LAN. You can stare across the scene. Go, I see you. I see you. I got you.
That's mind games when you see your opponent smiling and you're not, that's got to be the most frustrating thing there. You're like, dang, we gave it to them. But Iona did absolutely, they did good. They didn't do amazing, but that's solely because the momentum no longer shifted to their side. And Quinnipiac look at them. They're absolutely fluttering right now, especially since this may push this a bit more into their favor. Seems like that Pharah really isn't going to be working as strong as before. And, well, when it goes down to 2CP, I don't know how great it's going to achieve. Just look at some of these opportunities. Iona definitely has some pace in the front of the match. However, I feel their over-aggression, or at least willing to commit, just kind of backfired at times.
Yeah, I was looking at that very much, and I think they got overzealous at some points, and they pressed Q either out of panic or out of a little bit of extra moxie. So I think they need to temper their emotions in these moments and make sure that they're playing sound Overwatch, because there are times when they get like we said, they get a little bit overzealous in those moments. They're ready to go, and I just saw Cookie dancing there. Absolutely feeling on top of the world after that. The support switch that we talked about. Some supports just don't play well on control. Maybe you have designated players for those map types. Cookie came in and was the perfect foil to what Iona wanted to do. We saw the sound barrier come out from Cookie when they swapped over to the Lucio, and keeping them engaged into these fights. Oh my God, is this good? This is exactly what I wanted to see. I've got the G Fuel running through my veins right now.
I've got to stick with the good old H2O because, well, I'm sweating. And luckily, we already know what map we're going to be going over to. While you get to see these players getting focused, I'm going to let you know that it is Temple of Anubis for our Assault map pick of tonight. And I got to say that I don't really know who this benefits more.
There's lots of fair gameplay here, though. Talk about it. We've seen from Yazin, we've seen from other, Overwatch League teams bringing the fair to play there. So, we'll take a look. We'll take a look and see what they got coming out here. Quinnipiac's going to be on the defense again. I like that they're not swapping sides. They want to see what kind of a hold they can bring here. I'm wondering if Iona has the double shield in their back pocket for when they're on defense, but they're on attack first. So, we'll see. I like the long range hit scan here from Grub with the Cookie pocket. That's 195 DPS with the aim down sights to a headshot. So, we're going to see how they work out here. Broccoli was absolutely on fire with the Iona. We mentioned it once before. We're seeing it again. We'll see what they got coming out here on their defense.
Yep. Now, as we see Iona, they're relying on using this extra spammy composition on the attack. So Quinnipiac, even though their Ashe is set far back, it is a very split of attention. The rotation, it's enabled as they're going to be looking to take over that high ground. Calamity just plays at the effective range to where that Ashe's fall-off damage basically does less than what the Mercy can heal. And Mayonnaise gets caught in the back, but it doesn't seem to exactly notice, and the wall's able to protect them for a little longer. Iona losing off that mech isn't going to be feeling too great, but look at this. Rub is being dived on top, is going to fall, so they now have the control over the point, though that Anti manages to land on Oblivion. It's not going to be enough to save Milky Way, so Quinnipiac, they've got to find these plays, and oh my goodness, what a sleep! Though it was massive, the rest of the team, they need that healing, and you're not able to sit in position. You use that nano, you're able to help take out Oblivion, and you're pushing forward, building up the ultimate and giving yourself a chance to hold. It's what's looking nice. This looks just a tad, throws out the bomb, and it's going to be sitting there looking for the remake, able to find out Krev stalling this out until the rest of the team is able to come back. Iona, they have a DC on Sam X. That's even worse.
Oh no! Oh no, they were so close to self-destruct as well. Oh my goodness. Oh no, not like this. Wait, not like this. I like this. Okay. So, Broccoli doing broccoli things here again. That sleep onto Calamity was... I mean, I'm a chef. I loved it. I feel you. I feel you. Oh my God, that was... that is just sad to see. Oh my God, that... Here it comes. I mean, we're going to see the flick here from the sleep. Watch this. Up, down, sees it going around. Beautiful work out of them. And yeah, I mean, here it comes. Here is the sleep that I just love to see. The flick. The flick and a kiss.
I mean, the time they were able to stop Calamity from being able to do some damage was absolutely important. And Quinnipiac, somehow they have the ability to just work with what they have. I mean, all they had was an Iona and a D.Va left on that point, and yet they were able to come right back in and win off of that. That is amazing if I've ever seen it, because Iona most likely will have to disengage unless they manage to find some very significant value off of the very few people they have on the point, because Quinnipiac, their respawns are now in their favor.
Right, and I mean, if we're looking at what just happened there in that sequence of events, Broccoli hits the anti, applies the nano to the D.Va. The D.Va takes out Oblivions, and then the sleep that you see come afterwards. I mean, are you kidding me? That's just fantastic work out from them. So, Broccoli getting full value there, and really shoring the team up on their side. Like you said, it was a 2v5 situation, and they come out smelling like a rose. So, Quinnipiac, the Bobcats, definitely feeling like they have a lot to win here. I don't know what Calamity's going to be able to get done here. There's lots of pressure on the... Oh my God, the solo.
Calamity just comes back in with a vengeance, immediately taking out... And look at that, the Shatter managing to kill Milky, poor soul. It seems that pause slows down their focus. Quinnipiac, they're not going to have a chance to hold, but they did show themselves to have a really good capability to do so.
Yeah, Broccoli just accepted his fate there. He was like, yeah, I know, I'm dead. I got it. Oh, are they pushing forward? Oh, they are pushing forward. They're not taking any time here. They want to get right onto this point.
They're immediately rushing down, but Quinnipiac's response are there. They have the Blizzard as a defensive ability, so it seems their main focus, instead of going down that main where it's very easy to know what's going to be happening, you're open to more poke, they just go to the left side. They're going to be playing inside this small room. Mayonnaise has to pop out this Blizzard, but not let it get in. That's easier said than done, but look, you're caught out. You're able to wall to protect yourself. Iona, they're using that window to protect, but look at that Blizzard immediately getting eaten. That was such a flank turning around, but Calamity gets slowed down, so they have to engage off of this Riptide, which gets broken in the mid fight as Milky Way is able to get that nano. So much time built, and they're able to steam through like a train.
Oh my God, Milky Way destroys the tire. That was their point of ingress, and now it's back to the drawing board. 3 ultimates ready to go for Quinnipiac. They weather the storm, as it were. What a stagger out on the Samex. How much would that self-destruct have been worth there on point B, user, because they reset the economy. Now there's 71% towards another bomb. So you're looking for, how does Calamity and Sam work this together? Because, I mean, that's just got to be a little bit deflating here going in. 3:40 on the clock. Almost 4 ultimates ready to go for Quinnipiac. They've got the tools to hold for quite a few minutes.
You gotta say, though, nice kicks to the observer in the building. Looks great. So, I hope that you're gonna be able to catch this as Calamity gets punished. Looking for that barrage goes a little too far. The Mercy Res still possible, so you're having a bright smile as this fight is not over just yet. However, look at these angles that Iona are taking. They're entirely split, and that's what they're meant to do. As they break the shield, pop the barrage solely onto Broccoli. And, well, Milky is not going to be able to survive. Iona now are going to be having control of the point. Grubs does use the high noon, is going to be taken out before they have a chance. But They're running back onto the point. Look at that. The bomb is used, but it does get shielded, so they have a bit more sustainability. But there are 3 people coming onto the point as we see that second tick managing to be captured. They're looking to take out the Reinhardt. Popping out the shatter is not going to be helping, but we see the counterplay coming out from Oblivion, able to just land it onto Mayonnaise. And as the high noon comes in, it's going to be able to pick off the Tracer. They do have the D.Va onto the point, just trying to do their best to get any more of a time bank. Lesson down, but in the end, the focus fire ends there, and Broccoli can't heal you from all that damage. So Milky Way, being the last contestant to be able to sit onto the point as Mayonnaise gets melted down, is not looking good. The focus fire is there for Iona, and they are able to capture this point the moment the Lucio gets off, and the moment the D.Va stops coming back, and the moment the Tracer stops touching. Either way, it seems that they're just going to give it up, tired of that stall after getting the nano.
That is disgusting. That's just absolutely disgusting. And wow, what work coming out from them, even with the reset. My goodness, that was great clapback coming out of Iona. Now Quinnipiac's going to be on their own attack phase here. 2:14 was the time bank that was set up by Iona. So I want to see if there's a little bit of a tank swap here. Maybe looking at a little bit of double shield. Maybe they'll keep going in with this brawl. I mean, here's some of the work that's being done here. Here's that just absolutely nutty series of events that came out of Broccoli, the sleep. I hope somebody clipped that, because look at that, just beautiful work. But you know, once the rotation of ultimates was in Iona's favor, they had everything they needed there, and they started applying it with just a ferocity that I don't think that Quinnipiac was ready to see. That window was absolutely massive coming out from them. So, you know, Quinnipiac, they fought back hard on Numbani. Now they've got to come out and at least try to equal this time bank from Iona. 2:14 there. You see it on the screens, folks. This is what we're looking for. Quinnipiac definitely got to feel emboldened after holding a nice time bank. They took off 3 minutes off the clock, and, you know, they did it on Numbani as well. So Quinnipiac definitely have some momentum in their favor.
We do see the Hanzo walk out. And I definitely like this Hanzo. Calamity weight may not be like directly contested, but that could instantly kill a single target who isn't a tank. So as we see the rotation onto the left side, the damage is still great. I mean, Cookie isn't going to be able to live. And Calamity's right above them. They don't notice immediately because Oblivion starts walking into them. So a reset is forced to happen.
I like the Junkrat here. I think that this is a right call. I think they're trying to, you know, punish the brawl that's coming in. Almost has the tire already. I like the swap for Mayonnaise as well. Bringing out the Echo. You're going to have the tether on with that as well, and the res. So nice direction from Calamity, though. This is going to be a very dicey situation for Quinnipiac.
Oh, they're not even able to get the res out. They don't really have anybody who's paying too much attention to Calamity, and we know what happens when you give one person too much space. They're just going to go in, take out Mayonnaise. Luckily, Broccoli able to punish not only the Pharah, but just the Tad's going to be helping punish in Majin. Though this fight very split, as we see Quinnipiac looking to go inside that small room. The Riptire is built. Iona have enough ultimates to sustain without their Pharah Mercy. So we see the rotation going underneath the bridge, the trap placed underneath, and Synergy is basically free on top of the high ground, going after the 3K, able to take them out and save what could have been a scary situation.
Oh my god. Hi, Synergy. How you doing? Hope you had fun with that one. Full value of pressing Q there. And really just got corralled in there by the rest of Iona. Still 3 ultimates ready on the board for them. Amp Matrix. Dragon Strike available for Grub. Sam, are you hungry for a little bit of a Hanzo treat here?
They decide, you know, they're ditching the entirety of this idea of going to the left side. So as we see the fight go in, they do land the shatter, but, well, more of it, they land it on a shield as Calamity freely on the high ground is going to walk in, barrage solo in, and Rogue isn't able to focus out too much, a little bit too close to that shield. However, luckily the rest of Iona, they're able to follow up and get what they need. That res may be regrettable, as in the end, it's going to that ult charge, but you're able to put pressure onto the point. Even if that charge goes out, they leave yourself open to the shatter inside the backline. Milky Way, never mind, what do I know? Because you're able to get 2 ticks, and now we're going to be moving over to the second point.
This is exactly what they needed. I mean, they're going to have 4.5 minutes here, 4:10 to go into next phase. Calamity's still giving them hell, but Broccoli says, I'm done with you. The hit scan healer done with that. Here's the replay of that 3K. Oh my god, and the DMX, so 3.5 there for Synergy on this Junkrat, but now, we're heading into point B. There's definitely a chance for a snowball going in. Duplicate coming from Mayonnaise.
Look at this, just pushing in, getting that diva. Unfortunately, you get shattered. Well, the rest of your team does, and you're able to immediately re-mech. They have the High Noon blocked off by the May wall, but going onto the side of the corner, it's not going to be able to come out fast enough. So Quinnipiac uses, well, every ability they have. The Riptide is just barely able to take out Grubs, but there is a stall on the point. The Reds beautifully executed, putting this back in the advantage of Quinnipiac. However, Iona, it's a 2CP map, so they're going to be getting back extremely fast, and with the kill onto the Diva, Quinnipiac can fight this all they want, but they just don't have the resources to stop the fight.
They don't, and I mean, look at that. The aggression coming out from Oblivions once again. Knowing that they've got the support in their back, right back up to full health. Lots of ult charge. They're going to have Shatter into this next fight, and Sam is just saying, you know what? I'm going to take the fight to you.
Now we see as the Iona really don't want to take too much space. They decide just to play back. Let Quinnipiac decide to go through main and get hit with a bunch of volleys from the Junkrat, especially Calamity on this May. They're going to be looking for the walls. We see as the window goes, it is going to be countered at by one of its own. However, Milky Way is going to fall. That Shatter's going into thin air, but everyone else is going to be eventually crawled out, and unfortunately Grubs gets just sniped out by Synergy, who was able to predict where the High Noon was coming from.
I mean, fantastic awareness there. I mean, now we're looking at, a lesser time for Quinnipiac. They still have ultimates ready to go. Broccoli swapping back over to the Iona. I didn't hate the Baptiste play coming out from Broccoli. I think that they really took care of the fire in the sky, but now that that's not an option, Blizzard Tire could be an absolutely disgusting combo here. Here it is.
Look at this, they pop out the Grubs, you poor soul. You were isolated from your team, and now they're walking in after the massacre, just as Bruce Wayne saw his family fall. And with that trap there, they can't even push forward. The bomb is being thrown, trying to add some disruption, able to take out the May. Samx not going to be allowed to remake, and Synergy in a terrible position. Doing that Riptide, able to take out Mayonnaise, still now helping it, but Quinnipiac, they push themselves on to the point. They want to take out Oblivion, and they go for that charge, able to take out Grubs. You get hit with the anti, walking into the enemy backline. Not going to be the brightest thing that you've done all day, but they're able to land out that Shatter to stop them from punishing you immediately. Unfortunately, though, with a minute left on to the clock, it's not looking too great. At least Broccoli is able to assassinate their opponent and, at least say egoed in the chat.
Well, the rest did come through, but now sub 60 seconds. Mayonnaise has duplicate available. I'm looking for them to get a Diva. Honestly, that's the best way for them to get in there. Calamity has swapped over to a Tracer here. Already almost 60% towards a Pulse Bomb. So Iona showing their own brand of adaptability and versatility in their DPS heroes. This is going to be a tough ask for them getting in here. I'm looking for Oblivions to land this Shatter and them to close this out and go on to match point.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
They are committed. They copy the Reinhardt, and Mayonnaise is just looking to build up that Shatter. Look how quick it is.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness, what a land! The second they drop the shield and Oblivion gets angry, pops one of their own, taking out Grub, and they're pushing forward into the fight, but Milky Ways is somewhat able to do similar work. Unfortunately, with 10 seconds left on the clock, they don't have anybody who can speed back onto the point to get value, and I'm more impressed that Broccoli wins the 1v1 against the Reinhardt. That's not every day that you see that, but what is every day that you see is the Riptide coming through, getting the cleanup kill onto the Tracer, and while that Wrecking Ball can touch with the Soldier, it's not looking good anymore. We see them slowly fall, and with the Reinhardt returning, Quinnipiac, they went strong when it came down to Temple of Anubis, but in the end, they'll have to try one more time if they want to be able to tie up the series, because it seems Iona hugging each other, giving that love. That's what I like to see as they manage to take Temple of Anubis and their victory.
This is the MAAC Championships brought to you by the Showboat Atlantic City. GG's to you. Iona, you put yourself on to match point now. Milky Way, landing so much good stuff there. Takes the tire out. This would have been such a massive time bank if they would have been able to get that, but look at that, the Nano. Beautiful work coming out from them. My word, this is exactly what you want to see when you're on a land that you're playing for a championship here. My goodness, Iona, one map away from securing their spot in tomorrow's grand finals. Who are they going to face? Is it going to be Marist? Is it going to be Sienna? Quinnipiac might have something to say, though. They might have something to say. We might be going to that coveted map 5.
Yeah, I gotta say, the more that this goes on, Quinnipiac, their momentum and everything that they're working off is increasing to a big degree. I mean, we've already been talking about Broccoli, especially after Numbani. Broccoli has just, like, put in the work, mechanically speaking, to help the team, but Milky Way's confidence to just walk in knowing that if I die, my team can just fill it out. I mean, there's a reason why they got play of the game, and it worked out to great degrees. Mayonnaise able to put pressure onto Calamity just a tad, found a lot more kills than I think the Demon necessarily could have gotten. And that's what you should be doing, breaking those expectations, showing Iona that everybody on your team is a threat, while we may be looking at Oblivion and the impressive charges, I guess you want to be, I want to be calling it. The series is now going over to a match point scenario, so the next map could be the end, but I truly doubt it will be.
No, they're not done yet. I don't think Quinnipiac's done yet. I think they got more in them. That was a fantastic brawl there at the end of the game. I mean, back and forth trades there. They're not done. I think they got more left in their sleeve. And, you know, we're going to go over to, I believe it's going to be an escort map next. So, oh boy. Where did they go? Where did they go?
Well,
yeah.
Listen, I got you right now, Billy, okay? Because there are a lot of escort maps. All right, there's many within this map. Well, we've got Havana, Rialto, Route 66, and I mean, everybody loves Rialto. Such a good map. You're able to play on those higher grounds. Havana, you've got double shield, double snipers, and it's a lot of fun. However, it's going to be the stray cat that you saw on the street that rubs up against your leg, and you're feeling a little happy today because look at what we see. Route 66, a true Western showdown to possibly end tonight.
Well, Quinnipiac is definitely expecting the Calamity Farah. Double hit scan plus the Mercy pocket. Oh man, that's what you want to see. I mean, they're putting it all out on the line here. Double hit scans for Quinnipiac on their defense. Synergy actually played or flashed the Sombra for a minute. I wouldn't hate to see that, honestly, but Iona definitely feeling their oats here. I'm kind of concerned if Oblivions is going to stay on the monkey here, because that's going to be a bit difficult for them to be able to really shield against this double hit scan.
Honestly, I don't really think they care. They most likely are just going to full out ignore. I don't think I've seen them pay attention once to their opponent's damage. They just seem to not really fear pain. So as we see the commitment on top of the high ground, Calamity is going to be punished. The res broken off a little bit too far down, and oh my goodness, Grubs! Oh, why we had to catch that headshot. That was a little bit too graphic for me.
I mean, yeah, this is a family show, and that was not a family style killing there. Straight through the eyes. Yep, here comes the swaps. Sinji swapping. Well, no. Oh, no. Went back to the Tracer, so lost all that ult charge that they had built up. That might come back to bite them in the rear end. Quinnipiac, they have shown that they are willing to get in and get dirty.
We do see another commitment going out, in Calamity not in the best position. Grubs just has their free shooting range on top of them. However, the res is possible, and they just immediately walk on to the DPS who's adding those issues. So now Quinnipiac just not together, able to get a massive charge into a safety zone and taking the life of Oblivion. Iona aren't going to be able to push this anymore, even if their Farah is still alive. It's only for a little bit longer.
I mean, what a man. We're at an anti from Broccoli once again. Oh my god, they're getting so much value here. They're going to turn this fight into their favor. They're going to hold here, almost half the time bank taken off. And you've got to switch. You've got to switch right now. Yep, Calamity going over to the May. Oblivion's rocking out the Reinhardt. They're going to have time now to be able to deal with this and build up ultimates, but Quinnipiac almost has a full 6-pack on the board. This is going to have to be some massive work coming out of Iona. Otherwise, we're going to map number 5. I'm calling it right now.
But look, they lead themselves. Oh no, not the support! And you get the nano at the end just to make sure you survive. That's what I call well taken care of. Quinnipiac, they're getting so much work done on this point that it does look like at that scenario. But Iona, they have a very Vancouver Titans-like playstyle where they just full commit in, even if 3 are down.
Bob, Tac Visor, and Self-Destruct available to Quinnipiac. So you threw in the Valkyrie and the Nano and the Shatter. I don't hate that. Sub 90 seconds here. Sam does have Self-Destruct, but they don't, they're going to have to take down Milky Way before they can let loose and get maximum value out of it.
The bomb is thrown in at the engagement. You can't stop from the shield, but it does put some pressure and gives you free range into the point as Broccoli is going to be taken out. Grubs throws the bomb onto the point, and they pop out the visor, stopping anybody from truly contesting. The poor souls don't know what to do against both of these DPS ults as they hide inside of the gas station, but Sam X is not going to be able to survive. Now they throw this bomb in, looking to split them up even more. Find out the Iona, land the Shatter. Quinnipiac are angry from Temple of Anubis.
They are absolutely ticked off, and I mean, this is just a compositional diff. Iona did not give the respect that Quinnipiac deserved, and Quinnipiac says, nay, nay, we are going to keep you here on point A. Iona, they have Blizzard ready to go. That's all they've got in their pocket.
And more than anything, that Blizzard, it's got to be massive. We see them land onto the point. The D.Va's looking to DM if it comes out, but they're playing extremely patient. So when the Reinhardt eventually is going to drop, Oblivion gets hit with the anti, they're able to use it, catching out Milky. Eventually, that's going to cost their life, but Grubs follows quickly after. They don't have too much to contest on the point. As much as that D.Va wants to, the damage and focus fire is now out. They managed to flash the Valkyrie Mercy, but it's just not enough. We see the sound barrier helping them, but look at that Bob, the new main tank, to help fight this out. They really want to burst it, and eventually it does happen, but they lose out their DPS in that meantime. We see the Shatter go through, able to land, put charge pressure onto Milky, but not too much damage. As we see the D.Va still up, throwing out that bomb, looking to just mess around. They managed to find out both of the supports. How? They do it every time. Quinnipiac, they managed to stop and full hold on Route 66.
I mean, let's talk about Cookie with that absolutely kamikaze res onto Grub. 81% to Bob. Gets a dynamite, gets a headshot, takes care of the trash. And they have the full hold here on point A. So Quinnipiac have set themselves up to get us to a map number 5. This is the MAAC Championships. We are at the Showboat Atlantic City, ladies and gentlemen. And Quinnipiac, they are a bunch of angry bobcats, not allowing Iona to get first point. So, woo! Man, Quinnipiac, they feeling it. They feeling it. I'm getting sweaty over here. Woo, boy.
You know, honestly, I think what's more surprising is that Quinnipiac, they've been taking Iona and stressing them out. I mean, first map, Ilios, was the only point that we saw that was relatively one-sided. After that, Quinnipiac have been going back and forth, back and forth. They've been laying out every single trade when it comes down to these picks, and this has just forced the side of Iona to feel, you know, stressed enough to where they have to say, look, we're going to look to full hold. We're going to look to get 2-3 fights into this.
I mean, Iona cannot come out here and expect to just walk through and get themselves a free pass into the grand finals. Look at this close hold. They're just going to circle around, but says, oh, wow. I'm mad now. They're mad.
They are playing at a distance, but Milky's able to freely escape. This is almost free nano ultimate charge. I mean, Broccoli's already coming up to 40% and off of a small scuffle, as we see Iona take that disengage, then they go on top of the train card. That anti, oh, that's a 5 anti. That's so good. As Synergy isn't going to be able to survive, StamXMX is going to fall, and now that full hold that they were doing so well on, it's beginning to collapse. The anti-landing onto Oblivion is not going to be looking good. They have a nano Riptire. They're going to be having ultimates for their next engagement, which could be the last.
Grub, hello? Somebody check his PC. I think he's using the cheat. Somebody check him PC. He's playing at a much higher level than all of us expected, and they are already pushing forward. Mayonnaise 91% to a tire. They have 0 other than that immortality barrier to stop them from it. Calamity, you've got to get some work done. I think that I think they may have met their match in Quinnipiac here. This is going to be looking very hard for them. Tire's going to be ready.
Oh, they find out Kreb with a charge, and Mayonnaise rips up the tire, goes after Abel. No! Gets broken. But look at that, they have to play back. They are going to the pump with the nano being on just a tad. The high noon onto Grubs. They play behind the pillar, and it manages to find out the Reinhardt, the poor souls. There's not much that they can do as Quinnipiac have full control over the point and even eat your blizzard as dessert. Folks, we're going the extra step to a map 5 as Quinnipiac managed to win Route 66.
Angie Bobcats should never be trifled with. That is the lesson here to Iona. Grub, not only on the Ash, but also on the Cassidy, absolutely bringing their team back in this. I mean, look at this. Just the daggers being thrown in. Nah, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. They were done. They did not. They were just disrespected, and they felt it. And Quinnipiac came out and just punched Iona in the mouth. We are going to map number 5. This is what you want to see when you are in the MAAC championships in Atlantic City at the Showboat. Cookie, what's up? You are playing out of your mind, dear young lady. Wow. This is a comeback of true proportions. I cannot wait to see where we go for map number 5.
I gotta say, Cookie's involvement into this lineup has been absolutely... It's been impressive, to say the least. Broccoli is able to not only focus in on a bit of healing, solely because Cookie's able to kind of heal up for it when it's lacking, but... I mean, Broccoli can do some damage. Quinnipiac's DPS are basically getting every damage boost that they need. And Iona, I told you when this was starting out, they were going to be put onto the back end. They're so used to not being looked at, especially for Calamity, who's a DPS who often is playing that far free into the sky, never being looked at. And now that they're facing these issues, Oblivion isn't able to freely charge in and get away with it. Now it's getting to that uncomfortable sense where Iona have to say we need to put our main plan on the back burner and start adapting, especially going back into control. We won this the first round. All right, we've got this on a map like Nepal. We've got this. That they have a brawl map.
I mean, let's talk about this for a second though. What if? What if the NGN player comes out? What if Symmetra comes out and rears her ugly head here? What if Quinnipiac decides to bring the adaptability that we have seen from them all day long? What if they bring Symmetra to bear on Nepal? Because we've seen Oblivion's very willing to go onto the wrecking ball. You start getting those turrets up there and slowing that down, especially if we see like a Symmetra Sombra comp come out. I know that Calamity is going to want to go onto this Pharah, but if they get point presence first, it's going to be hard for a Pharah to get onto the point. So there's a lot up the sleeve. Quinnipiac might be pulling this back around in their favor. They've definitely got the momentum, especially after that first point hold, and then just cruising through and taking the second map of the day for them and taking us to this map 5. Woo, you can see it. The fire's in their eyes. You can see the focus. I am excited, user!
Oh, look at that. They've got the comfort. You know, I'll admit to you, I also have one. I don't have it with me right now, but I also have like a plushie that sometimes I cast with in high intensive moments. And look at these. These players are getting so ready for the next map. And you're 100% right. We didn't see Lijiang Tower first. We saw Nepal of all maps being onto the lineup when we started in. So, you know, we didn't get to see how these teams were going to be working when it came down to a Symmetra. Rather, we're going straight over to Shrine, and we're going to see the Far of Calamity. Can you enable your team to be able to do what they do best, or will Grubs be able to once more oppress you with the help of Broccoli?
Ooh, boy. I'm a little worried about this. Grub did have a fantastic map last time, though. So, you know, good work out of them. Definitely going to be pressuring on the point. There's early 2 kills for Quinnipiac. Oh, no, this is not going in favor of what they were expecting.
Look at that. They just push and they take the angles. Mayonnaise is just able to get so much done when not being looked at, or really just not being in a position to where they can look. Even if Calamity finds out just a tad, that point is going to flip for Quinnipiac, and they're going to gain control. Also, look at that rip tire built up. Calamity is the only person close to competing with it.
Yep. I think this time for you to think about different options here. Krev has had the onus of healing the entire team the entire time, while Majin is just that tether for Calamity. This is something that I hate about the Mercy comps. Oh my word, it's going to be bye-bye.
Oh, that went right after Synergy, the only person not inside the Immortality. The High Noon helps to clean out Calamity. Now without any DPSs, Iona say, no, we're just going to back up. We're going to try and save more people, but Majin is going to fall.
This is the worst case scenario here. Another big anti that came through from Broccoli once again. The pin, though.
But not only the pin, but the Shatter and Barrage, which helped lower them down. Just a tad had to get the Nano solely to keep their lives up, which is going to hurt because Iona going over to the Elephant, then to the point they get the Valk solely to defend themselves as Oblivion takes in so much damage, especially with the anti. The point hasn't flipped just yet as Quinnipiac throw in the bomb. They have their Reinhardt back. They look to use the Shatter, but it's not going to be too good as the boop is there. Though that window is split, we see Synergy combined with the High Noon looking to pump in that damage. The poor Diva doesn't know what hit them as their mech is going to fall, and yet that point doesn't flip. The rotations around it aren't helping, and even if Cookie is gone, Grubs is able to find out your far of mercy and save this fight from a close loss. Even if you lose Milky Way, it seems you know which galaxy you're a part of.
Love it. I love it. Flashback coming through once again. Grub is absolutely on fire. They have said, darn your Farah, we don't care anymore. And this is exactly what they needed. This is overtime now. This is going to be a 1-0 lead for Quinnipiac here in map number 5 of our semifinal here in the MAAC Championships, 100-0.
What is this momentum that Quinnipiac are bringing in at the start of the game? You know, it looked like Iona were the ones who were having it, and now they've got gamers high right now. They've got that focus measure. I call it gamers high because that's the moment where a team is so in sync with themselves that they're ready to play this. And though we don't see a teleporter or any kind of idea to get to the point, how do we look about these? The FAR has so much room to shoot.
But if they don't get the point first, it doesn't matter. We just saw that happen, user. Quinnipiac took the point first, and they're coming out with speed. Oh, my word. I mean, they've got no ingress. I mean, Calamity's going to be shut out once again unless they have a way to immediately deal with the Pharah. Yeah, they're going to be on the point first.
And though Calamity's able to get damage in first, that's what matters the most. As the boot comes in and Grubs is not really with the rest of the team, Calamity isn't either. It's an equal trade on both sides. It's a matter of who's going to get the res out first, and it doesn't seem they're able to. Oblivion is stuck inside that small room, isn't able to get the immortality, and their team is now left open. The res is going to come out incredibly late, but Calamity still comes back in, is able to put in that pressure, but the healing's still there. Eventually, Cookie's going to fall, as Broccoli has to play carefully, but they have the Nano, and it's not going to be too bad. Though that point is flipped, we see Milky Way start to engage in. It's flashed out of the charge, and the Shatter lands through. The poor soul just wants to play the game. Even if that's possible, they're still going to have to go to the spawn room, because it seems that Iona are going to gain control.
Well, I mean, I thought the Nan was going to win the fight, but I did not realize that Oblivion's was such a handsome Chad there with the Shatter. The stud from Synergy, then the Shatter from Oblivion's wins them the point, and now this is the broken fight. This is where Quinnipiac has to get their breath back together. They need to take a second to regroup as a full 6, and then go in. They've got 3 ultimates ready to go.
I mean, they also have an opportunity just to see how they want to take it. They lose Grubs. These close sites aren't going to be the most favorable spot. So with that res coming in, they may look to take a different rotation, especially with Calamity high in the sky looking for this barrage. Look at that. They're using the High Noon solely to catch them off guard. And they don't know the mess that they put themselves in. The barrage and bomb just split up their focus. It may only catch Grubs, but it's more than enough to stop them from even having a fight to take.
Yep, I mean, perfect aggression there. And they know that they've got this point well and truly in hand. 5 pack-a-volts, well, 4 pack-a-volts for Quinnipiac. I think that you throw out the bomb over the top, try to catch out Iona, pull that immortality barrier out, and then let Mayonnaise and Milky Way go ham. They are feeling it right now. Iona, 20% away from taking us to map 3, map number 5 of the semifinal. This is all we hope for.
Look at that, the Riptide being thrown in from a mile away. Oh no, the high noon! Synergy was being prepared to use it, but Mayonnaise manages to find them out. Quinnipiac make a rotation over to the point as Oblivion is split, so the Shatter is enabled, and they're able to take out Krev. But look at this, they're returning into the fight, able to take out the Mercy solely with the damage alone, but it's far too late. Quinnipiac, they have more than enough, and they are happy to say that this point is now in their favor.
Let's talk about the Mayonnaise tire that denied Synergy's Deadeye. That was their winning point. That was what they were counting on to keep them on control of the point and take us to map number 3. But Quinnipiac says, nay, we are still in this fight. We are still looking to take this. They're wanting to take this 2-0.
Look at this, the Bomb Beast gets thrown, but Broccoli is picked out. The Grubs does have the high noon, unfortunately gonna get stunned and DM. They've lost the majority of their team. Oh, that is a beautiful eat, but it's not enough to save Cookie, unfortunately. So as we see, Iona get a res up of their own and then take out Broccoli. There is nobody left. Well, Mayonnaise, but the passive is able to take out Krev, though that looked a little bit on purpose. We're going all the way, the final point, and it's going to be the hardest one of them all.
Okay, user, you know where we're heading now, right? We are headed to Sanctum. Guess who's extremely good on Sanctum? Farah.
I got it. I mean, you're right there, but Farah is good, but the rotations, have you seen what Quinnipiac have been working off, especially from Route 66?
I have, but if they're not able to get on top of Calamity on this Pharaoh once again, they're going to be in dire straits. So it's all to play for here, my friend. This is one map to rule them all and book their spot into the grand finals. Here we go on to this Sanctum. I call it the pit of hell. Look at this double hit scan coming out from them again. They're definitely ready for Calamity.
I like to call it scarier well. I mean, just look at Calamity. Plays on top of the shrine, being safe. Milky, though, is on the hog. You love to see it. Though they are playing very close up, we do see the rest of Iona looking to take the rotation. They're looking to just, not speed, but walk into their opponents. However, they have to be incredibly careful as the poke is immense. That point's uncaptured, but we see the split as they walk in. The stun goes out just a tad. It's just barely going to be living, and it seems that Synergy is going to be the first one picked off. They have so much sustain right now, even if we see Iona go over to the point. Oh! That is a beautiful hook to deny the Baptiste of all people. You would expect the Reinhardt with their hitbox, but nope. Milky Way gets what they want.
It ain't done yet. Iona actually captured first point there. Samex getting back into the MAAC. Oh my word. Broccoli already has this nano online. They're going to flip the point.
The point does get flipped, and they're able to start slowly clutching it out, and that's all thanks to giving them Calamity's existence. However, Milky Way is still freely on the point, had a beautiful ultimate, though missing the hook. Oblivion has to build up that shatter. That's what you're looking for. The high noon trying to stop anybody from walking in, but they just wait their turn. There's a Roadhog behind them, by the way, and they don't even notice until the shatter lands, but they've lost their Baptiste in that meantime. Oblivion, what a charge! That was rimming! Tony Hawk's skater as Mayonnaise pops out the visor. That point is getting so close to flip, but Iona have done an amazing job of contesting for as long as possible. However, it's just not looking like they can keep it forever, as that flux is going to go in, it's going to help, and the point is now flipped.
54%. That is what Iona has managed to capture into this point. My big worry right now is if Just a Tad gets taken out of this fight. Samex has shown that they have good self-destruct mechanics here all day long. And if they pull out that and Calamity goes in with the barrage, this is going to be an immediate flip.
Yep, Calamity though doesn't want to overpace themselves. Staying relatively close to the team, they're deciding to go on top of not only the support, but Grub, who just makes the rotation and respects their time. That bomb is focused out, making sure to take out just a tad. Our Calamity is being zoned out, isn't really able to fully commit, but the tanks don't get their supports because of it. They don't get any help, and now that point flips over to Iona, and that's not good because Quinnipiac are still somewhat fighting this, and the barrage comes in solely to finish them off.
Perfect timing, perfect rotation. That's what you want to see. And now, double support ultimates ready to go for Iona. They are feeling it right now. Mayonnaise is going to have this tack visor. Obviously, Calamity is going to be the target for that.
We see as they hold extremely close. They have a window, they have a Valk, they have some good ultimates, and unfortunately, Cookie is going to fall at the last second, which isn't good in this last fight because look at that, the visor, the fire strike, it just does its job. And now, though they have the nano on Evo, who's looking to touch onto that point, you've opened yourself to be walked on. We see as the visor not being used beside the pillars, the Ainu not able to finish them out. They have to go and touch the point. Quinnipiac, they don't have a team to be able to touch the point. The supports and Wrecking Ball are there, but they're free to the shatter. And Quinnipiac, they're not able to finish it out. Iona showing that they still have the energy. Be hype, be proud. You're going to the finals.
Oh my God, what an ending to our first semifinal. You see it there on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Showboat Atlantic City for the MAAC Championships, they take the semifinal 3-2 and 2-1 here in Nepal. Oh my word, what up? Great win. Oh, Quinnipiac, their hearts have got to be broken here. They had the momentum. They had the comps, and then Calamity, once again, just absolutely shutting them down. Can we give a little bit of love to Majin and Krev? These supports have kept Iona up, and a little bit of a hard carry there. This is the funniest pin I've ever seen in my life coming out from Oblivion's. A little bit sus there. Somebody check his PC as well.
Honestly, that may have just been like a bit of the Overwatch 2 mechanics coming in. I know they have some reworks in, so maybe that's just a part of it. You know, Ryan can now slide. Either way, Quinnipiac did so good as a team, even to this point. And I mean, in the end, unfortunately, they weren't able to kind of bring it out, but their players are extremely talented. You've got to be scared for them when they come back in next time around, because we've seen the potential they have. With a little bit more time, they could be terrifying.
I mean, they're terrifying right now. I think that this... you know, for the MAAC Championships, it's not the result that they wanted, but for the EGF, they might also have something to say come postseason time, especially with how well that they competed here today. But Iona has stamped their ticket into the big dance here for our grand final at the Showboat Atlantic City. Oh, my word. We got one more.
Oh, you're absolutely right, and it's the one that's going to mean who is facing Iona when it comes down to the grand finals, and, well, that match is going to be happening very soon, so don't go anywhere! Make sure you stay around, because I wanted to mess with them for a second. You know, I wanted to think that we're going over to a break because user intel is a bit impatient at times. I'm so excited! That match was insane, especially because the possibility of who is going to face the next opponent. So what's going to be working around with that. I think Iona, while they're a strong team, a lot of their weaknesses were significantly shown.
I mean, they got exposed in certain parts of their gameplay, so... you know, we got to get a little bit more into that. But now we're going to throw to a gentle little break here. We'll be back with you guys in just a few minutes. Don't go away. We're going to have Marist versus Sienna.